In a world full of distractions, there is one big question on every dog owner's lips.
How do I become more than just the person holding the other end of the leash?
We all get dogs with a dream in mind, a vision of the future. And if right now your everyday reality isn't quite that picture you had in mind, you are in the right place.
It really doesn't have to be this way.
You absolutely can and will be more to your dog than just the person who gets in between them and the world.
The key is you need to be more sexy.
More sexy than the neighbourhood cat.
More sexy than the jogger in the park.
More sexy than that half-eaten hamburger they just found on the floor.
And yes, even more sexy than the dog across the road.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Lauren.
Together we're Absolute Dogs.
And you're listening to the Sexier Than A Squirrel podcast.
Welcome to this episode of the Sexier Than A Squirrel podcast. And this is the podcast where we teach you how to achieve your dog owning dreams, or just your dreams in general. And that's kind of what we're talking about today, is actually, what is your dream? How do we make it happen in relation to your dog, life, everything?
Now, I've got a little story to start this podcast with. And I was only the other day, I was in with my mum and dad. Dad had made dinner and they live on the same farm as we do. So it was rather cozy, big roaring fire. And mum said, oh, you must see this, I found this. And you know when mums pull things out and you kind of go, oh dear Lord, what are they going to pull out next? Like some crazy photo or something super embarrassing, or that is like mum's prerogative, like mum's rights, like mum's absolute opportunity to get you. And so anyway, mum pulled out this book. Now I've got this, I'm going to call it a book because I kind of think it is a bit of a book, isn't it? It's bound. And this was written and illustrated by, so this is important information. It's written.
Some slight spelling error in illustrated.
Tom, this is 11-year-old self, 11-year-old. Come on, this is on a typewriter as well. Like seriously, and so I was looking through this, and I kind of, when I first saw it, I was like, I didn't quite remember it, and then I opened it and I did remember it, and I suppose what I'm telling you is that this is a story written by an 11-year-old. And this 11-year-old Lauren, I wrote about living on a farm. I wrote about dogs, I wrote about ponies, I wrote about ducks and sheep and goats and geese, and I don't have any geese right now, but anyway, I wrote about lots of different things, Tom, and I think the thing that really... and
a mouse?
I wrote about a mouse.
There?
There's probably many mice, but you don't want to be knowing about them. The surprise, the house, packing up, the move, settling in, the horse sale, preparations for new arrivals, Avon farmers, I mean, seriously.
There's a table of contents.
This is a bit... The new stable block, and then the children's secret, and then home sweet home. And I suppose
so sweet.
When I was 11, I lived in Plymouth. I lived in Plymouth city centre. And I lived in a large terraced house, quite a busy area, very built up, main road, busy main road, a busy main road to the point that my little cat was killed on the main road. Like I really, really didn't like living on a main road. I didn't like living in traffic. I didn't like living in the middle of a city centre. There were lovely, lovely places to walk your dog. You could go to parks, but it was always park walking. We didn't really go to moorland or beaches or things like that. And I definitely remember as a child, I lived in, like I said, a terraced house. I was 10 minutes to walk to my school. I went to Plymouth High School for girls. I would walk across the park and then walk across the roads and then to my school. So I could walk to school, and I didn't dislike where I lived. And at the same time, I was never passionate about it. My passion and my mission and my, now I understand, manifestation and intention was always to live somewhere much more like the home of Absolute Dogs, which is Bowerland. And that was where I always wanted to be. And I suppose what I'm telling everybody out there is, I mean, I had a courtyard. So Tom, I had like a square, or not even a square, a sort of narrow rectangle courtyard. It had sort of big chunky slates, and it was there was no grass, or there were no like pretty plants, or it was a courtyard. And I remember telling my mum one day I was going to bring a pony home and keep it in the courtyard, and I was only 10 at the time, and or similar age. I was definitely like primary school, and I had every intention of having dogs or ponies, or I didn't really mind, you know. I didn't see it as a limitation. I definitely didn't see the garden as a problem. My parents did. I definitely didn't see the lack of grazing as a problem. I figured I could use a park. The thing that I suppose I want everybody to know is that And when I look through this, like this really freaks me out. Like there's a page on this, and I know that you guys are on a podcast, so we can't necessarily show you. But I know that if you're watching us on video or maybe on the Facebook page or anywhere else, you'll get to see this. There's a page on this where there's even a jumping border collie, Tom. Like seriously, I'll find it. And
there's also a husky there.
There is that's not a husky. It's a German Shepherd.
Oh, sorry.
When have you seen a black and tan husky, Thomas? My illustration.
That one's
Lauren
still going to be manifested.
Literally, there is a black and white border collie jumping a bush. Like, I did not have a border collie as a child. My first border collie I owned at 16. So definitely this book was pre then. For me, the cool thing is these things were definitely out there in my dreams.
I'm just reading about the twins as well. I've not met the twins.
Please, this is a family story. There are other people. Maybe they're going to be yours.
The twins.
Maybe.
Well, they're
Tom's
collecting
twins
bracken in the
are
story.
coming. Tom's twins are on. This was actually our way of announcing the twins. Tom would like to make an announcement.
They're called Thistle and Gorse.
And so I suppose what I want to say to you is that your thoughts, they're powerful. Your mindset is important.
Yeah.
Your visualizations and your hopes, your dreams, the things that you might see. For me, I genuinely, as much as I haven't read about the twins yet, and I haven't reread the story, when I flipped through it, I was like, flipping heck, like literally, this is a bit crazy. 11-year-old self, how did she know that this was potentially going to happen? You know what? This is something that the universe has a bit of a say in. This is something that your energies, your mindset, your thought processes, what you think about, you become.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Think about what we think about. Even just on a small level with our dogs. Our minds can sometimes go to all the things that are wrong, or they barked at a dog. Oh my goodness, that means they're going to be reactive to, dogs from now on, and I've got an aggressive dog. And we can sometimes find ourselves manifesting or illustrating or storytelling the wrong things, the wrong story.
And repeatedly so, and then telling it to someone else who tells it to someone else, and suddenly that energy
we are the twins in the story. And it's like...
Gorse, Thistle!
This makes me chuckle. That was the first word I read.
Eliza does have a twin. I just haven't introduced her yet.
The crazy thing is that when we stop storytelling towards a road that we don't want to go down, we start storytelling to actually, how do we want it to look? You start to spot opportunities, like on a microscopic level of you and your dog. You start to, rather than think about all the things you don't like, you start to imagine this like empowering future, this dream that made you get a dog in the first place. You notice all the little bits of that dream that you already have that you can be grateful for. Whatever it might be. Maybe your dog doesn't bark at birds in the sky. It's part of the dream. That's one puzzle piece. And then you start to notice little opportunities to grow other bits of the puzzle. And yet, that would never have been possible if we hadn't have reminded ourselves and, as Lauren says, effectively manifested this, because that's what unlocks the opportunities. The opportunities are there, but your brain actually becomes aware of them because you're living the story towards that dream.
Now, whether manifestation is something sort of magical that happens in the universe, or whether manifestation is actually because you are putting your thoughts and your intentions into the direction that you're trying to head, and actually that starts to then mean that you take different opportunities and you make different decisions, or other people are aware of it because you've actually told them.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't really matter which. Like, for those of you that don't want to believe one way or the other, like it doesn't really matter. What we are saying is your thoughts become your actions. Your actions become your life. And for us, and for Tom and I, this was, we want to be a dog trainer. And I definitely got to a stage in my life where I was going to school and this is as a school teacher. I was going to school and I was teaching children, and I didn't dislike it. I wasn't unhappy, but I also wasn't in a place where I was really leading the life that I wanted to lead.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to control my own diary. I wasn't able to make sort of passionate sort of training like sessions happen whenever I wanted. I wasn't able to go, you know what, this is what I want to do on a day-to-day basis. I wasn't able to light up like I know I do when I dog train. And I suppose what I want to tell everybody out there is manifestation starts right now. Manifestation starts today.
Yeah.
You absolutely need to start believing that this is something that you can have and you will have when you're manifesting the right things.
100%. And there'll be some of you listening who have always dreamt of working with dogs, but actually maybe you've not dared to dream, because the dream then might make it a little bit real if you think about what your life would be like and what it would look like, and you've not kind of given yourself that opportunity. Actually, what if we do dream? What if we, think about, like, I don't know, like Lauren was 11 when she wrote this. Even think a little bit younger. Like, you ask a 6-year-old, 7-year-old what they want to do. They're like, I want to be the first dog trainer on Mars, and I am going to build the rocket myself. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, no, there are no limits there.
They are.
And we need to kind of get back to that a little bit of actually, yeah, why do we put limitations on ourselves? Why are we sometimes our own biggest critics? Why are we the ones that get in our way? Why are we the ones that, say I should do this and I should do that, rather than, oh, I could do this, I get to do that, right? And sometimes you need that kind of wake up to realize that might be stopping you from getting to your dog owning dream. It might be stopping you from getting to your pro dog trainer working with dogs dream, and it can change instantly.
And I think the big thing is here, the opportunities are there when the intention is right.
Yeah.
And when the intention and the thought processes are there. Like, I love looking back through that, because I think of my 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old self, and all I dreamt of was to work with animals.
Yeah.
All I dreamt of was to train dogs. All I dreamt of was to get dogs jumping. I don't know where that came from, but seriously, from about the age of, 4, 5, 6, I would be in my nan's garden getting Blues, the next door neighbour's border collie, over broomsticks. And I even had Peppy the hamster doing fudge bars. Like, literally, he would be jumping fudge bars. And I always had a bit of an obsession with making animals jump. Like, I wanted it, and I did it in an encouraging way. I'd always be finding treats or balls or games to get them to jump things. Like, the thing is, if you think back to I look back and I look at my childhood self, and I think that's something that was always in there. Thank goodness I got the opportunity to realise it.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I had the outlet for it.
Yeah.
Because if not, what a frustrated life you lead.
Yeah.
What a frustrated, sad place you live when you don't get to realise your dreams. And I know there's so many people.
It's just triggered me to think of something, and that is poor Peggy, my very first dog, who was just like, she was like a saint. And I was obsessed with this idea of a force field being around me where Peggy would follow me wherever I was outside, and no matter what distractions were going on, and she would stay within that zone. It later became known as the proximity zone.
At Peggy!
5, 6 years old, right?
Thank you, Peggy.
But the funny thing, the thing that made me chuckle with Peggy is Peggy had the full journey, because Peggy came into my life when I was about 4, and she passed away when I was like 21, right? And so she had like the full dog training
Spectrum.
journey, and had to deal with all iterations of it, poor Peggy. But we forget that actually, when to a child, a force field around you where no distraction can penetrate this force field. Like, we sometimes don't think big enough as adults, do we? We sometimes like forget the playful opportunity in what is every single day, whether it's getting dogs to jump, whether it's your dog staying within your force field. Sounds quite scary.
The playful opportunities that are there for all of us. And the exciting thing is, I was teaching on a live, one of our like a pro groups last night, Tom, and I was chatting to the group, and what really lit me up was that so many people on that live were anywhere between the age of, I think the youngest person on the live was 24, and we had someone in the early 90s commenting. Wow. Like, that for me lights me up.
Yeah.
People in their 60s, their 70s, their 80s, reinventing themselves.
Yeah.
Reinventing themselves and saying, now is my time to do this. Like, literally, I am not putting everyone else first for any more like of these days, of these seconds, of these minutes, of these hours, or any of that. I need to put myself first here, and I need to put out to the universe what I want to do. Yeah. And actually, I want to play with dogs, or I want to learn, or I want to have more fun, or I want to have more energy, or I want to put myself first here. Like, honestly, it was such a lovely group to have. A few hundred people, I think, were on. And literally once one person said it, she said, I'm 68 and I'm literally living my best life yet. And that was it. It triggered like everybody to be, I'm manifesting more movement. And there was someone that was manifesting more literally dog playtime. There was someone else who was manifesting more learning. Like they desperately.
I'm manifesting warmer socks.
Yeah, warmer socks right now, right now. And they literally, what they were putting out though was that they were ready to lead their best lives. Yeah. They were absolutely ready for opportunity, ready for, and not waiting for something. Like I think so many people are sitting, waiting, wishing. I remember reading a play when I was at school, Waiting for Godot, and basically he would wait every day at this tree, waiting every day, and the end of it, he never came. Like I remember being so puzzled by that whole idea, and yet isn't that life? Like you might wait forever.
It could be,
right?
And yet.
This is not the way we're going to be. We're pro dog trainers.
So guys, we're really passionate about this. We're passionate about it because we see that potential in each and every one of you. We've been doing this a little while now. It's like over 10 years and we've trained thousands of people to achieve their dream, whether that be their dream with their dog or their dream to actually inspire others and be a dog trainer and work with dogs. And so, basically we're just giving you a kick up the bum to say, come on, let's do this. And if you would like more information about actually achieving your dog owning dream or more information about, okay, I'm ready to make the leap to becoming a pro dog trainer, then email us, email ask@absolute-dogs.com and the team will be able to help.
They would love to chat to you. They chat to people each and every day and literally help to make dreams become reality. They help in so many ways people realise opportunities they didn't even know were out there. So that's ask@absolute-dogs.com. You might get to speak to the wonderful Katie, or maybe you'll get the super Sam. You might get the wonderful Phoebe, or literally the team is incredible. Yeah. And Naomi, Samaya, like literally we've got a cool team and you're going to get to reach out and chat to one of them. So they're there to help. Yeah. So if you haven't already reached out to them, literally we couldn't speak more highly of any team. They really are an amazing team to work with.
And if you would like to, explore that pro dog trainer journey a little bit more, then if you head to absolutedogs.me/PDT journey. That's absolutedogs.me/PDT journey, and then there's loads of information on there. And we've seen thousands of people go through this journey now and see the lives that they're living, the vibrant, thriving lives, and we want that for you. So go check it out.
And if you're already getting in your own way and you're saying, oh, PDT journey, yeah, I like the sound of that, but I definitely couldn't do something like that because I'm not blah 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 blah. You know what? Stop. Get out of your way, email the Ask team or go and check out that link because ultimately we know you are more than good enough for this. We do.
Yeah. So with that, guys, go forth, get out of your way. We will see you next time. And remember, stay sexy. Hey, before you go, have you taken part in the worldwide Sexier Than A Squirrel challenge?
It's a 25-day online video program, huge energy, amazing community, and over 100,000 people are already taking part.
The only question is, you know where you are today. Where do you want to be in 25 days from now? Head to absolutedogs.me/sexy.